Hey, this is Peter, and I'd like to invite you into the second most important room in my home, my bedroom. Now, the reason this is the second most important room in the house is because sleep is a critical component of every aspect of success. And I say the second most important. My first most important, if you're wondering, is my meditation room, where if you are looking to create your reality, that's the place it starts. But sleep comes a very close second. So I want to share with you on this video some of the keys to getting an amazing night's sleep. Now, the first thing we'll look at is obviously the bed, and I'm a big guy, so this is a big bed, a couple of meters by a couple of meters, over a meter off the ground, and you'll also notice that we have a little rebounder here. That isn't for me, that's for these guys. Kids, come here. All right, and because it's a little high for those, so hop. That's why we have the rebounder. They like a good night's sleep as well. But there's a few things I want to share with you about setting you up to win when it comes to your bed. One is the mattress. Is the mattress serving you? Some people, just by changing their mattress, it can have a transformative effect. What is your back type? Do you prefer soft or hard or orthopedic? If you have a look here, my pillow on here is actually a tempura orthopedic pillow, just to get the angle of the neck right. We've all woken up after a night where we've had a sore neck and it sucks. We've got lavender on here. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Also on here we have an earthing blanket. Now, this earthing blanket is actually connected and plugged in to a socket, as you can see there. And the earthing blanket discharges a lot of the built-up electrical charge that we get as electrical beings in the day, especially as our feet are insulated, with shoes and rubber soles and that kind of stuff. And that extra charge starts inflammation, so it helps get rid of the inflammation at night as well. Now, if you look over here, side of the bed, I've also got some spray. This is for lavender. Lavender is an amazing substance to really help the body relax for sleeping. Eye mask, which is for blackout on there, but also a sunrise alarm. This actually gradually starts to get lighter and lighter, as you can see here, and then will wake me up without any noise. So my partner, who gets up a little later than me, isn't going to be like woken with a beep, 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 which puts a flood of adrenaline into the body and cuts your sleep cycle short in a way that charges your body into a fueled state, which you don't want when you're coming out of a nice resting phase. There's even patches you can get. These are sleep patches that are infused with a frequency. Remember, we are electrical beings that help the body relax on here. Now, I also wear an Oura ring. This is something for tracking sleep, and you can't manage what you don't measure. So what sleep are you getting? You don't know. Why? Because you're asleep. You don't know if it was a good night or a bad night, and going off subjective feeling isn't always the best way. This thing tracks so many different things. I've had an Oura ring since they first came out 5+ years ago, and now they're getting very popular, but it'll tell me about how much deep sleep I had, how much REM sleep I had, what my body's cycle was, and what my heart rate variability was, my oxygen saturation. And what I love about Oura is it's predominantly for sleep. You can get stuff on Apple Watches or Fitbits or stuff, but there are multitudes of data that come from them and multitude of other functions. Get something that's specific just for sleep, and that's what it specializes in. You get the idea. Now, what else have we got over here? Let's walk over this side of the bed. One of the things here I mentioned again about lavender, we have a diffuser, and we have some amazing little essential oils. We've got California white sage here. There's some bedtime stuff, and we put this on 20 minutes or so before we go to bed, so it infuses the air again with a nice diffuse sense of essential oils to help the body actually go to sleep. Now, there is a superpower that I do have when it comes to sleep, and I'm going to share this with you. And it starts with understanding your body's electrical system. Because in the daytime, if you imagine the body like a car, in the daytime you've put fuel in, you're burning stuff, it's you've got exhaust going out, but it's driving energy and power to go do something. Now, the predominant mineral that the body uses to activate the cells for energy production is sodium, i.e. salt. Not the iodized table salt that will kill you, but high quality mineralized ocean salt or Himalayan salt. And that the body cannot live without. How did the UK control India in the time of the Raj? Because they made it illegal for you to make your own salt. Anytime a government tries to mandate something that is essential to life, then it's about control. That's how 1 million armed British soldiers controlled an entire population of hundreds of millions of Indians until Gandhi stepped forward at a high level of consciousness. Different video. Anyway, back to the cells. The cells use sodium to essentially as their fuel to really power and drive the body. But at night, what happens? The car has to go into the garage to get serviced, where it gets cleaned, ready for the next day. And that requires a different mineral that shifts the polarity of the cells into that other state. And that mineral, the vast majority of people, including most likely you, are deficient in, and they don't even know it. And that is the master mineral, magnesium. So follow me for my superpower here as I take you into my bathroom. This is so cheap, so easy, so effective, and it will transform how you get a good night's sleep. These are magnesium salts, also known as Epsom salts. It's essentially this level of salt. I use, what's that coming on here, around about 2 kilos. I will use half of that, like a kilo, which is overkill, but I'll use it in the bath at night. And if you have a magnesium bath before bed, it is going to be transformative for your night's sleep. And I challenge you to try that and leave some comments afterwards to let me know how it got on. Now, it's not possible to have a bath every single night. So instead, how do you get magnesium into the body? Well, if you're not having a bath, then every night, I take magnesium supplements. Now, there's a couple of things you want to watch. I use this from Longevity Box. It's very good. It has different types of magnesium. But if you go to a standard health store, you're most likely going to get magnesium oxide, which is cheap crap that's not really going to do a lot. And they make it cheap. They make it crap because it's abundant and it doesn't cost a lot to produce. And most people don't know the difference. They think magnesium is magnesium is magnesium. No. Magnesium glycinate, magnesium threonate, magnesium citrate are 3 excellent forms of bioavailable magnesium that your body can actually use. Magnesium oxide is really inefficient. It's a little bit like, they tell you to drink milk because it gives you calcium. Bullshit. Sorry guys, there's not a dairy scientist that would argue that point if they were pressed. Milk does contain calcium, but it's calcium lactose, which is really milk sugar, which really isn't absorbable by the body, which is why most studies on people that drink milk over time, commercially produced, pasteurized, homogenized bullshit milk, will actually have osteoporosis because they can't absorb the calcium in the milk. It makes the body more acidic, and therefore the body has to balance that out by leaching calcium out of the bones to balance up the pH levels, which is why people think, oh, I need to drink milk to get my calcium. I'm sorry, go do your science, not your commercially propaganda bullshit. That was a little side note. Anyway, magnesium is your superpower when it comes to a great night's sleep, just so your cells can get into that repairing state. So, if you are interested in really getting your life to the next level, really making sure that you have the great start to be refreshed, then we've covered pretty much all the bases apart from the last one. And that is setting yourself up with an energy instruction at night. Because the mood you go to sleep in is the mood you get up in. What do I mean by that? Most people go to bed worrying about the next day because they've been programmed by more BS out of the mainstream media, or they're focusing on all the fear, lack, and everything else. They've been conditioned to believe that they need to go achieve stuff to be good enough. The usual deal if you follow my work on how to get out of that. But if you go to bed feeling grateful, find something. Grateful that you made it through the day. Grateful that you get the chance to wake up tomorrow to really secure your opportunity to go swing the bat at life once more. If you go to bed feeling grateful rather than stressed, your body is going to let go of all of the cortisol that's been built up, and therefore you're going to get a much deeper sleep to repair all of the cells to feel energized tomorrow. If you go to bed worried about anything, carrying resentments about everything or anything, then your body's going to produce cortisol. And what that means is you are going to be lying there and you are going to be in a very light sleep with the slightest noise disturbance that can wake you up. It's an evolutionary process, because if we were in a cave back in the day and we heard, there was danger and we went to bed because we know there's a tiger prowling around, then that cortisol would keep us in a light sleep so that the snap of a twig can bring us back. Unfortunately, most people have tigers running around their mind before bed and wonder why they don't feel like they've had a good night's sleep, even if they've been in bed for 8 hours. So set yourself up to win. I forgive everyone for everything. I am so grateful that I got to experience life in a time in history that my ancestors would have dreamed about. Whatever it works for you, look forward to something that you can do tomorrow that will just allow you to relax, give your body a signal, be grateful for the fact that it got you through the day, and fall into an amazing night's sleep. See you on another video soon.